is Heather. This is the second part of the fourth watercolor lesson. And this one has to do with painting a pet or an animal in a very stylized way. So this is stylized, I say, versus like say realistic. It's very simple outlines. So I have 5 of them here to show 5 different techniques. So I thought that that might be a good way to go versus working with the one painting that we did the first part of this session. Honestly, I don't like how it turned out, which is something you need to get used to in painting, is that I would say the ratio is about 30 to 30 paintings, you're gonna love one of them. That's over time is what I've seen is about the ratio. And so here I'm gonna start with a cool color, and this is a watercolor pencil. So these are really beautiful tools, and it's not necessary for you to get them. I'm just showing you what a watercolor pencil can do. So you're laying it down, and then all of a sudden you add that water and it becomes paint. So there's paint literally inside the pencil. There's paint in the pencil, right? So that's a very nice way to control watercolor, which is notorious for being hard to control. So you might like that. All right, so cool, working with cool. This one's gonna be a warmer painting. So warm meaning the sun. Warm is, I always think, when you think of warm and cool, think of sun and ice being cold, right? So that's ice colors are, blue and greens. And then of course the warm colors are like the sun, typically yellows and reds, oranges and all that. So I just going in there, like I said, highly stylized image, right? So that was pretty much, I would say, wet, dry onto wet, because it was pretty wet. This one was dry and wet as well. Let's see, we'll go over to here. I was gonna do a monochromatic. So let's work with blue. Monochromatic meaning just one, right? So if I'm gonna, for instance, I'm gonna get this wet. So we could try wet on wet in this area. The tail is wet, the paws, look at that. That's always fun, right? So that's part of what we learned about gradation, is that, for instance, if you have your paint there and you load your brush and then you pull it into the water, that's considered to be a gradation. So now you can see how we started with 8 basic washes, and now we can start to use them in a different kinds of paintings, So then that's why we always start with the samples, so that you can start to do a lot of an experimentation, and just remember that's what painting is about. It's definitely an experiment. So here's neutral. I'm just going to work neutral, meaning black and gray. Neutrals could also be brown. So neutrals are nice because then they let the other colors pop out. Like a bright colored painting is always good against a neutral background, like cream or white so there. Okay, that's just basic Rory cat that you've probably gotten to know from the other painting videos. There's Rory, the black cat or black cat. And let's see here. So here we have multicolored. For multicolored, I'm gonna lay down little areas of wet. Here, we'll do a little area of wet here. And then let's just see what happens when we touch the paint there. Nice. So there, we're gonna go multicolored, meaning many colors, a little bit of an orange there. Can do a little bit of a blue in this little area. So you see that's another way to control watercolor, is that you have an area of water and then the paint only goes in that area. Right, so here's wet on dry, and then let's see what happens when we touch that water. Goes through right into that area, almost like a puddle or even a little lake, you could call it. There it is, it's going. And so have fun with that. It's a very fluid medium. You could even call it a flow experience. It's like fluid and flowing. All right, so think of it like water, because it really is. It is water. It's watercolor. All right, there it is. Okay, that's the lesson for today. If you want to work with a pet, a favorite pet, or a animal image, and then I would say 5 little sketches of that, and go into it with a marker to do a heavy outline like a coloring book, and then paint into it using your different sample techniques. All right, thank you. Have a good day.